What you must know when you talk about a pattern is that a pattern is an arrangement of numbers, shapes, or objects that follows a specific rule or regularity so you can predict what comes next. So we have different types of patterns. So a pattern is sometimes called a sequence. So we have linear number pattern, quadratic number pattern, and exponential number pattern, but they sometimes call it a geometric sequence or geometric pattern. Then linear, they sometimes call it an arithmetic pattern or an arithmetic sequence. So you must know how to differentiate between them. Whatever that you can see that will make you to conclude saying that this is linear, this is quadratic, or this is exponential. So they have their different general rule. So the linear pattern, it has Tn equal to a plus n minus 1d. Then quadratic is Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. Then exponential is Tn ar to the power n minus 1. So this information, or these are the formulas of these three different patterns. Very, very important. You must know them, guys. They are very important. You must be able to memorize them, but you'll find them in the formula sheet at the back of question paper 1. So be greeted. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so that you do not forget, and please like the video. Thank you so much for your support, as you have done subscribing and liking the video. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So number pattern is a very simple topic. Just need you to understand what I'm going to teach you here. Let's actually look at the formula of an arithmetic sequence or linear sequence or linear pattern. Make sure that you understand whatever that I'm going to say or do here, guys, because it's very, very important. Then let's go. Tn equals a plus n minus 1d. We know that Tn is the general term, or they can actually use nth term, and they can also use the formula or general formula. But you must know that they can actually ask you this in these different ways here. They mean one thing. Then the value of a is known as the first term. That is the first term. Suppose you are given, for an example, let's say you have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So the first term there is 2, meaning that 2 symbolizes a, or it is the value of a, because it is the first term. Then we have n. It is the term number. It tells us how many terms do we have. It tells us the position of a term, but altogether it tells us the number of terms in a sequence. As you can see, these numbers that I'm highlighting here, all of them, they are 5, meaning that the term number here is 5. Why? Because we're having term number, because we're having 5 terms. So we have d. D is a common difference. So the important thing you must know about linear pattern is that you differentiate it by saying that linear number pattern is the pattern having a common difference. That's D. And you must be able to find a common difference, and you can be asked to calculate it. So sum is plus, then the difference is when we subtract. Then multiplication is known as product. This is mathematical language. Then division, it is known as quotient. Whenever you divide things, the answer becomes quotient. In trigonometry, you were taught that if you have tan theta, the tan theta here, this is known as what? A quotient identity. Why? Because you can write it as sine theta over cos theta. So sine theta over cos theta, this is a quotient identity. Why? Because there's a division sign. Therefore, you can be asked to calculate D, T2 minus T1. This is T2 minus T1 here, equal to T3 minus T2. It's like the second term minus the first term, the third term minus the second term, the fifth term minus the fourth term. That is how you find the common difference. Let's say you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then this is T1, T2, term number 3, term number 5, term number 4, term number 5. Therefore, for you to calculate D, it will be T2, which is 4 minus T1, T3 minus T2. Therefore, you're going to have 2 and another 2. This is the common difference. So this is what is telling us that the pattern or the sequence is linear or is arithmetic. Very, very important, good people. I hope you are following. Let's say we have 4, we have 7, we have 10, we have 13, we have 16. Then the pattern continues. Then you are asked to find the general term. Therefore, it will be Tn equals a plus n minus 1d. Provided that we are given that the sequence of the pattern is arithmetic. 4 plus n minus 1. Why are we saying 4? Because 4 is the first term. Therefore, you can calculate d aside, but make sure that your teacher sees it. So use that formula to calculate d. This is term 1, this is term 2, term 3, term 4, and term 5. Therefore, d equals to term 2, which is 7 minus 4. Term 3 is 10 minus 7. Therefore, we have 3 as our common difference. You substitute it on your formula. We have positive 3, Tn equal to 4. Then you distribute the 3 inside the brackets. You're going to have 3n minus 3. Then you group the like terms. You'll be having 3n, 4 minus 3. It will give you positive 1. This is the general term. Very, very important. They can say the nth term or general formula or just the formula. Then let's say they want you to calculate T10. They ask you the value of T10. T10 is the position, meaning where there's n, you substitute 10. Then you find what value is in position 10. Therefore, T10 equal to 3. Where there's n, substitute that 10 plus 1. It means that T10, it will be 30 plus 1, that will give you 31. The 31 is the number that is in position 10, or it's a term that is in position 10. I hope you are following, guys. If you are following, please make sure that you press the like button. Okay, I think we can try to move or to continue. This is very, very important. Very important. Let's say they ask you how many terms are in 200. This is a question. Sometimes they can say which. So how many terms are in 200? Meaning you're going to take that 200 and substitute it where there's Tn. So Tn equals to 3n plus 1. Then 200 equals to 3n plus 1. You solve for n. Then it will be 199. 200 minus 1, 199 equals 3n. Then you divide by 3. Both sides, you find the value of n to be whatever number. So when they say how many terms are there, they want to know how many terms are in 200. You do not take the 200 and put it where there's n. No, you substitute it where there's Tn. Sometimes they can say how many terms are greater than 200, meaning that you will not longer use Tn equal to, but you will write Tn is greater than 200 and you solve for n. Or they can actually ask this question saying how many terms are less than 200, meaning that where there's Tn you substitute 200, then you write less than 3n plus 1 if that was the case. I hope you are following, but after this I'll actually make an example that will that will be doing whatever that I'm saying right now. So let's just erase this and do that example so that you can actually get or understand what I was trying to explain there. Actually, I was not trying to explain it, I was explaining it. But I hope that you guys are getting it. I know that you are very, very smart. This is little stuff for you guys. Yes. I repeat, please, with all humility, please do not forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when Maths and Science series we upload lessons. Wonderful. Let's try, let's say we are given the linear number pattern. So when they tell us about the linear number pattern, you must think of the common difference, right? We are given 4, 7, 10, and 13 and 16. Then the pattern continues. Those 3 dots, it says that it is continuous or it is continuing. So make sure that actually we use the same sequence that we were using before. Let's say let's write our solutions. We are given whatever that we are given there. So we look for a general term, that's Tn. This is the linear, therefore you use Tn equals a plus n minus 1d. Therefore, what's the value of a? We are given the value of a as 4. Because this is the first term, right? Plus n minus 1, then 7 minus 4, 10 minus 7, 13 minus 3, 13 minus 10, then we have 3 here as the common difference. Then you substitute that 3 on your formula, on your calculations, then you distribute the 3. It will be 3n minus the 3. Therefore, Tn equals 3n. Therefore, Tn equals 3n plus 1 because it's 4 minus 3. This is the general term. This is A. Then let's look at B. B, they say determine the 20th term. So that TH, it tells us about what? The position. Meaning that we must find the term that is in position 20. I hope you understand that. Then you will need your general term. You will need T20 equals 3, where there's n, you substitute that 20, then you punch it in your calculator. I think you're going to have 61, if I'm not mistaken, because 3 times 20 is 60. 60 plus 1 is 61. I hope you understood that. Now, this is 61 here, meaning in position 20 we have 61 as our term. Then, what else now? Which term in the pattern, this is a question, which term in the pattern, sometimes they can say how many, that's a question. Which term in the pattern is equal to 301? That's a question, right? What you're going to do, you're going to take this 301 and substitute it where there's Tn. Very, very important. You cannot answer these questions if you do not have your general term that represents the formula. So Tn, that represents the pattern. Tn equals you actually, where there's, okay, you must write that was B, then Cn equals 3n plus 1, then where there's Cn, substitute 301 because that's an that's a question. Then they say equal to, meaning that sometimes they can say greater than or they can say less than, as I explained before, meaning that if it was greater than, you're going to say 301 greater than 3n plus 1, but now it is equal to, meaning we're going to use an equal sign. Be careful of that. Make sure that you mind these questions. Therefore 300 equals 3n because we transpose the 1, we divide by 3. Then we're going to have our answer as 100, right? Then you actually conclude with what they asked you. Therefore, the 100th term Okay, so over here is 100 term. Okay, I can't see what I just wrote. Let me erase it. Okay, the 100th term is 301. So the last question was asking us about what? About the position. So if they said greater than, it was going to be that thing. If it was less than, it was going to be written like this. So make sure that you understand this. Then you solve for n. This is very, very important. I hope you understood this. So make sure that you follow whatever that you are doing. All right. I think we are done answering these questions now. I think we can continue with other questions. We are given Tn as a plus n minus 1 d. This is the general term of all linear patterns. Now we know that a is the first term. We want to prove that right now. Where does n substitutes 1? A plus 1. Where does n substitutes 1? It will be 1 minus 1 close bracket d. Therefore T1 equal to a plus 0 inside the brackets d. Therefore 0 times d, it will give us 0, which is a as T1. We've proven that T1 equals a. Where does n substitute 2, since we're looking for T2? Therefore T2 equal to a. Inside the bracket we're going to have 1. Therefore 1 times d, it is going to be a plus d. Therefore T2 a plus d. Then we have T3 equal to a plus 3 minus 1 d. T3 equals a plus 2d. Therefore T4, I think we'll end here. A plus 4 minus 1d. Therefore T4 equals a plus 3d. If we were given, like they wanted us to find T100, well, it will be T100 equals a plus 99d. T500, it will be T500 equal to a plus 499d. T10, a plus 9d. T80, a plus 29d. I hope you're getting the gist of this. Make sure that you understand what I'm doing here. Make sure that you understand it. Very, very important. This is where learners are getting incorrect answers, because they do not actually understand this part. But now you will see, when do we use this? We are used that questions, or in question papers we are given something like this as a pattern. Then they ask you to find what the general term. Now it becomes easy for you to do so, because you can see A and you can look for D if it's the arithmetic. But sometimes they can give you two terms, 2 and 27, then they want you to find the general term. You see that it is a bit difficult, but you need to understand this for you to find the general term if you are given two terms. That's very, very important. And as you are watching it, I know this is actually the part that you are struggling when it comes to. So make sure that you understand. Now you are given, they're saying that this is an arithmetic. Sometimes it is known as linear, or it can be called arithmetic pattern. So it's one and the same thing. What they said here is that we are given the third term as -4. And we know T3 equals -4, and we are given the seventh term as -20. Therefore T7 equals -20. Therefore you know that this is arithmetic. It's a plus 2d equals -4, if you remember. Then T7, it will be a plus 6d. If it was T20, it will be a plus 19d. Therefore make okay, you can solve it simultaneously the way you are doing in question 1 algebra. So equation, I can make equation 3 by transposing 2 to the right. Therefore this, let's name it equation 1, this is equation 2, and this one, it is our equation 3. Therefore substitute equation 3 into the second equation. Then where there's a, you substitute -2 minus 4. negative 2d minus 4. Therefore, it will be negative 2d minus 4 plus 6d equal to negative 20. Then you group the like terms. This is equal sign, okay? Negative 2 plus 6d, it will be 4d, the positive 4d, and negative 20 plus 4. Use your calculator, don't make yourself a staring. So 4d equal to negative 16. Therefore, divide both sides by 4 to find the value of d as negative 4. Therefore, you can take this and substitute it either in equation 1 or equation 2 or equation 3 to find the value of a. So I'll use equation 1. A plus 2d, you know that d is negative 4, equal to negative 4. Therefore, a equal to negative 8 equals negative 4. You transpose the 8, you will have negative 4 plus 8 will give you positive 4. Therefore, you use the formula. You have 4 now and you have d, and this is an arithmetic. Do not forget that. Then you use Cn equal to a plus n minus 1d. Therefore, Cn equal to a. What is a? We have 4 plus n minus 1. Then d is negative 4. Then you simplify it further. You'll have Tn, that's equal to 4 minus 4n plus 4, right? It will be plus 4 because negative times positive, negative times negative is positive. Tn equal to negative 4n plus 8. This is our general term. So this is how you're doing it when you're given two values and you're asked to find a general term. They can ask you to find d or whatever. So T3, let's prove it. Negative 4, where there's negative 4, where we substitute 3 to prove if it is correct. So negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. We are happy. Then T7 to prove that our answer is correct. So it's T7, not T20. T7, where there's n, we substitute 7, must give us negative 28 plus 8. Therefore, the answer must be negative 20, meaning whatever that we've done here is very, very correct. I hope you saw how I did this. Make sure that if you didn't understand, pause the video or study it afresh and understand it. Very, very important. T7 we're given as negative 20 and we've proven it, and as well as T4. I think the only thing that's left for you is to subscribe to the channel and like and comment. Okay, this is a linear sequence. We are given linear sequences x, 4x plus 5, 10x minus 5. Then they say determine the numerical value of x. What you must know here is that whenever you are given unknown variables in your sequence or in your pattern, you determine the value of x using the common difference if it's linear, or you use what? The common ratio if it's what? If it's if it's exponential or geometric sequence. So this is what you're going to use now in order for you to find the value of x. You use the formula for calculating d. So 4x plus 5 minus x. Let me try to shift my screen here. Okay, 4x plus 5 minus term 2, which is x, equal to term 3, which is 10x minus 5. Therefore, we subtract the last term, the previous term, which is minus 4x plus 5. Therefore, you get rid of the brackets. Therefore, 4x there minus x is 3x plus 5. Then equal to 10x minus 5, distribute the negative, it will be negative 4x, negative 5. You group the like terms. 3x plus 5x equal to 6x minus 10. Therefore, 3x minus 6x, that's going to be negative 3x, negative 10, negative 5. That will give us negative 15. Therefore, negative 3x equal to negative 15. We divide by negative 3 both sides to make x the subject of the formula. Then you have your x as a positive number, which is positive 5. So for you to solve these questions, whenever you are given variables or numbers that are mixed with alphabets, for you to find those alphabets or to find that alphabet, you use what? The common difference or common ratio formula. So here we are given this. Make sure that you actually do this on your own to see if you understood what I was doing there. All right, I think we can continue. Do this one and check if you understood them so that you can continue with what I am teaching you here. But these are very important things that will make you to get marks easily. So if you didn't understand, make sure that you pause the video and watch it. That's the only remedy for you to understand what I was saying. Okay, we have 3a, 5ab plus 7ab. What I did there was actually to show that the first term of a geometric, you substitute 1 where there's where there's n, then we actually generated 4 times. Therefore, what you know in a quadratic pattern is that the first common we have 2 differences. We have the first, which is that 3a plus b, 3a plus 5a plus b, 7a plus b. Therefore, for you to find the second common difference, and the second difference must be common. This is what I'm doing here. We're finding what? 3a. Yeah, sorry, it's not 3a there, it is 2a. I made a mistake on that first one. 5a minus 2a, 5a minus 3a equals 2a. So I made a mistake there. So these things that I've actually circled here or highlighted with bubbles are important things that you must know, guys. You'll see how those things work. So sorry for not starting it afresh. I was just proving this thing on how are we actually, or why are we using them. But yes, that's it. Okay, now let's say we are given a quadratic number pattern or a quadratic pattern as 94, 70, 82, 94, 90, 82, and 70. 90, 82, 70. Then we know that we have first difference, 90 minus 94, T2 minus T1. And we're going to have negative 4. Therefore, 82 minus 90, we are going to have negative 8, 70 minus 82, we are going to have negative 12. Therefore, we know that this is not a linear. Why? Because the first difference is not common. Therefore, negative 8 plus 4, because it will be negative 8, negative 4. Therefore, we'll have our common differences as, or the second common difference is negative 4. And you know that this is equal to a, then negative 4 equals 3a plus b, as I've actually done it there, but in a short time because we do not have time. This is a plus b plus c equals 94. Therefore, 2a equal to negative 4. You solve for a by dividing both sides by 2. Then you're going to have a that is equal to negative 2. Then 3a plus b equals negative 4. The first difference, the first time on the first difference, it will be equal to negative 4 here. Then you substitute, you transpose the 6 to the right, it will give you a b. Therefore, it will be b equal to negative 4 plus 6, it will give you 2. Therefore, a plus b plus c equals 94. We do have 94 there, and we know that a is negative 2, b is 2, plus c equals 94. Then these two, they cancel. We're going to have c equal to 94. And we can actually look for the general term as Tn. Actually, I didn't do the first question, but it's fine. Tn equal to an squared plus bn plus c. Therefore, where there's a, you substitute the a that you have there, which is negative 2. N squared plus, what is the value of b? It's positive 2. Then c is 94. This is how we answer the second question. I didn't actually notice. Okay, let's now do the first question. But I hope you saw this, guys. This is very, very important. So sorry for not explaining to you how I got this 2a, 3a plus b previously. As you saw that I did it, actually I didn't explain it further. But this is how you're doing this. Try to ask your teacher, maybe he or she would explain it to you. All right, let's try to answer the first question and the last question. Then we are done with whatever that we are doing on this phase. Okay, we have Tn as negative 2n squared plus 2n plus 94. Then what we can do now, okay, they want us to find the next two terms of the number pattern. But even if you don't use this, we can use another way and calculate those two terms, because this question is for B, is the answer of B. Therefore, we can use whatever that we are given as our pattern, 82, then 70. As we can see, let's check. Here we have negative 4, we have negative 8, and here we have negative 12. Therefore, for us to find the second term, we said 94 minus 4 to get 90. Then 90 minus 8, we said 94 minus 4, we got 90. 90 minus 8, we got 82. Therefore, 82 minus 12, going to got 70. 70 minus 16, we're going to, okay, there is going to be negative 20, as you can see the trend. So now 70 minus 16, it will give us the answer. And okay, 70 minus 16, it will give us 54. Then 54 minus 20, it will give us 34. I hope you saw how I got negative 16 there and negative 20. So these are the next two terms, 54 and 34. I hope you understood it. But if you didn't, please make sure that you try to pause the video. Okay. Calculate two consecutive terms whose first difference is negative 136. Then they say it's 4 marks. Okay, let me make space for myself so I can be able to answer this question. All right. Let me try to answer this question. So they want us to calculate two consecutive terms. Two consecutive terms are terms that are following each other closely. Okay, and 70. Okay, this is what you must know. You must actually generate what the general term using the first differences. That's what you must know when they ask you about consecutive terms. So you use negative 4, negative 8, and negative 12 to find its general term, apart from using the quadratic one. I hope you guys you understand this. So negative 8 plus 4, it will give us negative 4. Then here it will also be negative 4. Therefore, what you must know, or what you must do here, you're going to use the negative 4, negative 8, and negative 12 and find its nth term. I'm not sure if you understand that. Then after that, you take that negative 136 and substitute it where there's Tn and look for n. I hope you understood it. Actually, let's do it. Let's try to do it so that you can see what I'm actually saying. This is very, very important. You're going to use this first difference. You find its general term. Therefore, Tn equals a plus n minus 1d. Therefore, what is the value of a? It's negative 4. We use it as our original, right? Plus n minus 1, then d is negative 4. Therefore, you use Tn, you write Tn equal to negative 4. Negative 4. Okay, let me go up. We have negative 4 plus, we distribute that 4, it will be negative 4n. No, sorry. It is Tn equal to negative 4. Then you distribute that 4, it will be negative 4n plus 4. Therefore, you group the like terms, you have negative 4n, because 4 and the negative 4, they will cancel out. Therefore, they told us about that negative 136. You put it where there's Tn, then you solve for n. You get n that is equal to, is it 35? Okay, n equal to 35. So the consecutive terms are 34 and 35. But the answer that you're going to get here, let's see. Negative 136 divided by negative 4. So the answer is going to be 34. So the consecutive terms, it is 34 and 35 because they are consecutive, or they are following each other closely. If it was 37, it will be 37 and 38. Then you're going to take that 34 and substitute it where there's Tn of the quadratic pattern. Therefore, it will be T34 equal to negative 2, where there's n, you put 34 squared plus 2, 34 plus 94. Then you write the answer. T34 equal to, just use your calculator here. T34 equal to, I'm not sure if I'm actually pressing it correct, but this is negative 2150. Then you can see that n is 34, meaning that the other n, it is 35. 34 and 35 are consecutive terms. As you took that 34 and substituted it on the quadratic, you also do the same thing with the 35. Then you punch it in your calculator, n squared plus 2, 35 plus 94. Then you get your answer as T35 equal to, punch or use your calculator, you're going to get whatever answer that you're going to get. Okay, now given the quadratic, they want us to calculate the minimum value. I think I must actually explain this. As you can see that our Tn is like a quadratic pattern, a quadratic function, like a parabola. So let's say we have a parabola like this, then this turning point, it will be known as a minimum turning point. But if our parabola, for an example, is said, you know that m is greater than 0 or a is greater than 0 if the graph is happy. Then if the graph is said, you know that a is less than 0, then this part here will be known as the maximum turning point. So it will be the maximum turning point only if a is negative. It will be a minimum turning point if a is positive, as you can see. But the question actually wrote minimum, it must be maximum. Why? Because our Tn there, it's expressed as a negative function. So it will be a negative pattern, as you can see. Therefore, as you were asked maybe, or you were asked before to calculate the TP or turning point, this is the formula that we are using to find the x value of the turning point in functions. But now we're not dealing with x. Remember, now number pattern deals with n. So it will be n negative b over 2a, where there's a negative b from the Tn formula that you are given. So you know that x here is the minimum, is the maximum value if a is negative on the Tn. But if it was positive, it will be the x value of the maximum, minimum turning point. So you substitute negative 2 over 2. What is the value of a? It's negative 2. Therefore, the answer, it will be 2 over negative 4. You're going to have 1 over 2. But it will be very easy if it was a number. So this is actually a half, and it's not actually, most of the time it happens that it comes out as a decimal. It comes out as just a number without decimals. So we're going to take that number, you see n equals half. So half is not the minimum or maximum, but it is the position. For an example, let's say where we got 9, we're going to count from 1 up to 9. Then that 9th term, it will be the maximum value or the minimum value of Tn. But if you don't have it, you just take that that 9, and you substitute it where there's n on your general term, so that you can find the minimum value. So the answer that you get after writing the formula n equals minus b over 2a, that answer that you're going to get is not the minimum or maximum value, but it tells you about the position, that the maximum or minimum value is in position 5. Then you go to your pattern, you choose position 5 as your minimum value. So yes, you will do this thing on your own to actually check if you understood what we're doing so far. So very, very important. This is a question from a past question paper. So make sure that you try to do it. And please like the video. Okay. Now we have an exponential. This is the formula for an exponential function or a geometric function. Not function, pattern. So T1 equals A. T1 equals A. Where there's n, we put 1 minus 1. Just want to prove if T1 is really A, or A is the first term. We can see that A now becomes the first term because r to the power 0 is 1. Therefore T2 equal to AR2 minus 1, where there's R we substitute, where there's N we substituted 2. Therefore 2 minus 1 is 1. AR. It's R. What did I do there? Is T2 equals AR. Therefore T3 is AR squared, yes. Therefore T4, it will be AR to the power 4 minus 1. This will give us T4 as AR cubed. Please fix the one that says T2 equals AR squared. It's supposed to be AR because 2 minus 1 is 1. So you can be given two terms here like this, then they want you to find the general term. So you use what we were doing actually in arithmetic. You do the same thing. So this is very important. I think we can actually do an example that will show you guys how this thing is done. So they can give you a sequence, then they want you to generate the general term, or they can give you two terms, then they want you to generate what? The general term. So you must know this secret. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Then if you are in grade 12, you must know how to do this, because you can be asked to calculate, to prove the sum the sum of the arithmetic series and the sum of the geometric series. Very, very important. Okay, let's try to do an example here. Let's say you are given 3 plus 6 plus 12. Then they say that this is a geometric or an exponential. Okay, 3 is 2. 3, 6, 12. Then they tell us that this is a geometric series, not a series, actually geometric sequence. Then we have 3, 6. We must find the R common ratio by saying T2 over T1 equal to T3 over T2. Then you look for R. Therefore 6 over 3 equal to 12 over 6. Therefore you find your R to be 2. This is the common ratio. You know, exponential R is common. Arithmetic or linear D is common. So we do have A and R. Tn equals ARn minus 1. Where there's A, we substitute 3, open bracket. Where there's R, we substitute 2, n minus 1. So this is the general term of this pattern. So this is how you find the general term of an exponential or a geometric sequence or pattern. Very, very important. I think we can actually do the last activity here, then we close our lesson. Okay. Let me show you how to do the one that you needed to know, the secret of saying that T5 is AR to the power 4. So you must know those things. After this example, we are actually going to that one. I think we'll close our lesson for today. Okay, we are given an exponential or geometric sequence. The first term is 14 and the 60th term is 448. Therefore T1 equals 14 and T6 equals 448. Therefore T6 equals 448, and they told us that this is an exponential. We know that T1 equals 14, A equals 14, right? Because T1 is equivalent to A. Then T6, this is what you do. Tn equals ARN minus 1, provided that this is an exponential. Therefore, this is the T6, meaning T6 equal to AR, where there's 6, we substitute N. For T6 is AR to the power 5, 6 minus 1. Therefore, where there's T6, we substitute AR to the power 5 equals 448. Then we are asked to find the constant ratio, meaning you can take that A, since you have it, and substitute it where there's you can take 14 and substitute it where there's what? A. Then you'll have 14 to the power 5, 14 divided by 14 both sides, then arc to the power 5 equal to, just use your calculator, I think it is 32. Yes, arc to the power 5 equals 32. Then you put the fifth root. This is not the square root of 5, no, it is the fifth root. Put 5 here, then you find your r as 2. Now since you have this r, you can look for the general term. Tn equals ARN minus 1. Therefore we do have A. Since we have A, that's 14 there. You put 14 where there's n, r, you put 2n minus 1. Then this is your general term. So this is very, very important, guys. Make sure that you follow up. These are very important questions. Therefore, please try to do past question papers. Try to do past question papers. And please do not forget to subscribe if you didn't, and please like the video before you leave YouTube. Thank you and God bless you.